Hello Blues, happy Christmas, it's Tom here, I hope you're well. Bit of a shortened version of today's show. We've got a bit of information about the Wolves and Leicester game to tell you a bit about how we got on there and what our thoughts went wrong and where we can obviously do better. We'll talk a bit more in-depth information about the City-Sheffield game. We thought who was our best players and who could be improving. And we talk a lot about Garcia and the defence as well. And obviously we talk about the City-Everton game, which is the 1st of January match, which is tomorrow night. We talk about the potential squad rotation that we think Pep will do with Gabriel Jesus, Gundogan and Mendy back in contention, and also Ederson returns as well, while John Stones and David Silva are both available following injury. So there's obviously going to be some changes there. So myself and Admin Field and talk about that in in-depth detail. So listen, I hope everyone's had a fantastic Christmas. You can obviously tell with my voice I'm a bit croaky, I need a few more lem sips, but we go into New Year positive with a win against Sheffield, and we look forward to welcoming Everton at home tomorrow. Have a fantastic evening as long as you're listening to this today, and we will speak to you very soon. Up the Blues. Let's crack on, because we got 3 games to discuss today. We've got the Wolves game, which I don't want to talk about very much, obviously. Sheffield United, and obviously tomorrow we'll play the mighty Everton. So with Carlo Ancelotti's first game against City, so I'm looking forward. First game for Everton against City. Should we give the Wolves game 5 minutes? I think we need to give it some time, don't we?
Might as well get it out of the way.
Well, you know, I was so frustrated. It's so hard to see because, you know, from my point of view, I know we were 10 men down. Sorry, 1 man down. We played. Was it? How long was it? 80 odd? No, 75 minutes or something with 10 men. And to get 2-0 up, I thought this is fantastic. This is the start of our amazing run. And then when you see the other goals go in, it's so frustrating. But it just encapsulated the season for me. We do fantastically well in one half of it, and they do really, really poor in the second half. What was your thoughts on it?
Exactly that. It showed what we've been working on the training ground defensively, though, because up to the point of where they started scoring their first, second, and third goals, we were holding out. We knew as soon as Ederson was going to be sent. Well, once he was sent off, we were going to be absolutely battered by Wolves.
Yeah.
And in a sense, we were, but we gave it to and fro equally back. You know, the only problem was, up until after we scored our second goal, we changed a little bit. You know, when we went down to 10 men, we were defending a lot deeper, obviously, but we were still committing men forward. After we scored a second, we just went completely defensive, and it sort of messed us up. But I think that's the only reason we didn't concede more, is because we know how poor our defence is this season. And if Guardiola had changed it tactically after the 2 goals, just a complete defending before we scored the 2 goals, I could see us not even scoring. But because we've committed men forward, the ball's at the other end of the pitch, allowing our defence to relax a bit.
The possession stat says a lot. 62% possession Wolves had of the ball, and they had 21 shots and 8 on target. So, you know, you can see we had 38% possession, 7 shots and 3 on target. So 2 goals and 3 on target's not too bad. But it's really disappointing. Really disappointing we lost that, because the last time we were winning 2-0 and lost was against United. Remember we could have won the league in 2018. So it's a bit of a sucker. That was worse, obviously, but this was even more of a sucker punch. But I think the main thing is now is getting that Sheffield win under their belt, and Ederson's back now, isn't he? It was only 1 match ban for Ederson, wasn't it?
I think, because it used to be 3, didn't it? But I think it's only 1 now. Yeah,
we're back against Everton tomorrow, which is fantastic for us. But Raheem Sterling, what a star again! I saw a different player to Sterling than what I saw against Sheffield, against Wolves. I'm not really too sure the position that Pep's put him in. Have you noticed anything like that?
I think Pep's having to find different positions for him, because let's be honest, the left wing last season was his preferred position. He was scoring goals similar to the season before, but for some reason this season he just keeps having on and off games, and I don't think it's got anything to do with tactically. You know, it's just he's just blowing hot and cold. He just can't get it right, despite playing in the same position almost every game. And it's almost as if, like, when we took Aguero off, Sterling was obviously pushed into centre and pushed forward.
Yeah.
it still didn't help because his confidence isn't there, which is going to damage him even more. It's good that he's still finding the odd niggle and the odd goal there and then, but 2 seasons ago, he would go against one-on-one with an opposition player and get by 2 or 3 at the same time. This season, he can't beat the first man. So it's almost like a surprise when he scores because we're like, well, he's not been doing it.
Yeah, no, I watched him against, who was it? Leicester, and obviously Wolves, and obviously Sheffield. The Wolves game and Leicester game very similar for me for Sterling. I know from watching the team, from watching the gameplay, he's getting double marks as he should. World class player, but he just doesn't seem to have. In my opinion, obviously he's got 1 or 2 touches. He can run past people, he can beat people, he can pass, he can shoot, etc., etc. But when he tries something 9 out of 10 times, it doesn't work. He always seems to be running into a brick wall. Whereas last season, I need to look at the stats compared to last season of this same point, because at the minute, I don't know. Maybe it is. It's just a bit out of confidence. Maybe it's just a bit a case of he is getting double marks, triple marks. He's getting a lot of people running at him, and people know where he's going to go, know his positioning. Because let's face it, Sheffield were fantastic. I thought Sheffield were brilliant. I thought it was so organised and so regimented. City were passing the ball from left flank to right flank to left flank to right flank, and you could see it was like Space Invaders. The Sheffield United by do, and we'll just do across the pitch again. And I thought they were fantastic, really well, and they seemed to bring Sterling out of the game with that tactic as well. I don't know, it's a tough one, but Kevin De Bruyne, what a player he is. I was really Kevin De Bruyne must be man of the match, but for me, I watched Garcia quite closely, and although he's slow into and his positioning's not there of a Premier League player, I put it on
his first Premier League start though, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I put it on the group the other day that he's got to start every game for me. I know Laporte's going to be back in he's going to be training with first team again in 10, 11 days, something like that. But let's get Garcia playing more. Let's get him learning more. Because what I could see in him, it was a case of he didn't look any worse any worse than Otamendi or Stones. And for me, he could pass the ball and he looked solid. And there were so many times where we were passing it between the back 4 and Bravo, where it's absolute panic stations for me. I don't like that. I prefer to get the ball up the pitch. Yeah. But Garcia just looked like a regular midfielder. Pass, no problem pass. They're well drilled out this City for playing that short passes in a controlled area. What do you think of Garcia?
He stood out for me when Lys Mousset was through on goal on the left hand side, and he played it wide. I think he played a huge part in getting back and putting him off enough, because if he was 1-on-1 with Bravo, you just got to hit the target, and it's 9 times out of 10 going to be a goal. Awful as it is to say about Bravo, but come on, let's be honest, he's nowhere near what he was like for Barcelona.
Yeah.
But Garcia put him off a lot for that shot, and I think that's the reason it went wide. But he is. Everyone's been saying the same thing. He's not big enough. He's not buff enough, and he's not tall enough. Puyol wasn't tall. He wasn't buff when he first started off. Look at what he ended up turning out. So the Spanish league's nowhere near as.
Even the likes of Mascherano, who was it?
Exactly.
He brought a big fielder back into a centre back, and he did fantastic well, didn't he? So I don't buy that big thing. As long as your positioning is right, you'll be able to do anything, won't you?
Yeah, well, the buffing upside, all he has to do is go to the gym every now and then and buff up. He's not the quickest anyway, so he's not going to lose any athleticism by doing so. Yeah, and he is reading the game. What I've seen in the highlights, he was reading the game very well, and his passing's great for a defender. And like you say, he can't be any worse. And as of yesterday, the game against Sheffield,
visitor.
Hello. Mate.
Hi.
We're talking about.
How are you doing?
This is Dan. Say hello.
Hi, Dan.
No, buddy, how are you doing?
While he's here, Dan, we'll get an early score prediction. So City are playing Everton tomorrow. What score do you think it'll be?
23.
23? Sounds good to me. City are going to score 23. And how many Everton are going to score?
None.
23-0, Dan. Out of your book, that, pal.
I was going to say, that sounds like one of my score predictions, that.
Get inside, I'll speak to you later. See you in a bit. Another junior play to the ranks there.
I was going to say, it reminded me of that BBC episode where that guy was doing it and the kids started running through the background,
And he was dragged out from nowhere.
Yeah.
Where were we? Coming back.
Garcia.
Garcia, yeah. No, I was richly impressed with him. And Stones is back now, isn't he? From memory.
Yeah, but I can't see him getting back in the team after the way Garcia played against Sheffield United. He'll have to play the next game for me, Garcia, if he's going to get a good run in the team. He has to play the next game against Everton.
Yeah,
because I know Otamendi will come in. It'll be Fernandinho and Otamendi for me, but.
I know you mentioned the point on our chat about if Garcia's playing, why is not Foden playing?
Yeah.
The first thing that jumped to mind to me straight away was a really good point you made 3 weeks ago, maybe. Is there's not as much competition in defence. He's got more of an opportunity to play, and I would rather see Garcia start over John Stones.
Yeah.
I would rather see Garcia play over Otamendi. So you only got Laporte, who's injured. Yeah, and then obviously Fernandinho is going to play in that position and for the foreseeable future. So it's Garcia, Stones, or Otamendi playing in that position there. And we didn't concede when he scored. I know this is a big thing because let's face it, we held a clean sheet because when it was 2-0, I said to the missus, I said to my dad, all I want now, I don't want a third goal, I want a clean sheet. And when they hit the post, it was like, oh, fantastic. And for me, right, we've got that clean sheet. Same defence, minus the goalkeeper. Let's put Ederson back in net, please, and go again against Everton. I don't think he will because we've got Mendy back, haven't we? Mendy can come back in. Mendy's on, haven't we? So we have got Stones, we've got Mendy. What do you think of Zinchenko? How do you think he played?
He played all right. He was caught out a couple of times, but I think that's his first. Yeah, I think that's his first Premier League start since his surgery, though, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, I can't.
It's obviously a lot fast because he started against Oxford, didn't he, in midfield, and obviously left back completely different position. Premier League's a completely different tournament. I still think he could be. I don't like what everybody's saying on the page where they say Mendy out. He's a bit like Otamendi. On his day, he can be world class, and Otamendi can be on his day. He can be world class, but more times than not, he's only arguably useful as a left-sided winger. In a sense, it's the only thing he can really do is get the ball in. He can't defend to save his life. He really can't. He can do the odd good challenge as any other midfield player can do, but come to defensively, he's always caught out of position. And it was bar that. Can't remember who it was. A couple of games ago, maybe about 5 or 6 games ago now. It was a game after the Zagreb game. I remember that. Zagreb game, he was nowhere, he was useless. But the game after that, he was tracking back and winning nearly every ball on the left wing. And that's the only time I've seen him this season that he's played. He can do it. So for me, Zinchenko could arguably now get a bit more game time and retake that first choice left back. Even with Angelino and Mendy fully fit, I can still see Zinchenko being our first choice until we sign someone. Because I think we'll end up signing someone.
I can't disagree. I think we both know that back four is going to change at some point. But for me, I'd give Garcia more of a run. Fernandinho is a shoe-in. Zinchenko, you're right, I think we need to give him a bit more game time. I've been really disappointed with Walker over the last couple of games. I felt that in Walker, who did we play in? He was an absolute rock. He was brilliant. It might have been Leicester. But the game against Sheffield, he gave the ball away so many times. It just wasn't him. I don't know what it was because he was bombing forward a lot. He defended all right. But he seemed to, every time I watched him, he seemed to give the ball away sort of 4 out of 5 times, which was in the first like half an hour or so. And I can't remember exactly how many times he did. I'd love to see his stats because I want to see him play again. And I want to see the one he played, I think it was against Leicester, the way he played against Leicester, which I thought was fantastic. It was an absolute rock. He absolutely saved it. It wasn't. I think it was United. It was United where I thought Walker was our best player against United. He was an absolute defensively.
I remember saying because he was tracking back and winning a load of balls.
We lost that, didn't we? So for me, I'd love to see that back four start again. Obviously with Ederson in there. I thought Rodri did all right. I don't think he deserves to lose his place. I don't think he ever will because he's Pep's boy, isn't he? Rodri. I think. City
I like the way he's playing about with the midfield now, though, Pep. He's playing Bernardo in a much more deeper role. He's doing that the game that Foden played in the league. Can't remember where he started and played almost a foot. He took him off in the 50th minute. He's doing exactly what Foden did that game, and he's doing all the energy running in that midfield, closing down the ball, stopping instant passes, and I think that's allowing Rodri to sort of position himself better, and then that's also again allowing De Bruyne to push up forward. And I think that's why De Bruyne is getting into the games a hell of a lot more than what he has.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sort of tactics that Guardiola wants to bring Foden into, to have him as that energy and that run around, that little terrier in midfield, just to stop all that initial breakout. So I think Rodri's got his position, and it all depends on what happens in the summer for me, because I think when Laporte's back from injury fully, I think it will be a toss-up between Fernandinho and Garcia and Otamendi. I think Stones will be leaving in the summer, personally. I don't think he's got a place at City now.
Did you hear about Fernandinho leaving in the summer?
Fernandinho?
Yeah.
Yeah, to Arsenal as a player-coach role on part of Arteta. Yeah.
Rule that out. Yeah, I wouldn't rule that out.
It'll be a good move for him, arguably. You can't deny it'll be a good move for him.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of changes this summer, and you could argue, despite us not signing anyone supposedly in January, it could start this January, because there's been rumours Cancelo is on his way out back to Valencia.
Right, okay.
Because he's apparently been quoted saying he's a bit unhappy with the lack of game time, which you can understand. But at the same time, when he's played, he's not really lit up.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. He wouldn't have come straight into this squad expecting game time every week. No, there's no way Pep would promise him that. I'm a
bit 50-50 about him, though, because he put me off when he played against Oxford, because of the challenge the sort of bit of scuffle before Oxford had a corner. He kicked out slightly. I don't know if you were seeing it. Kicked out the Oxford player. Yeah, and then the Oxford player didn't do anything, and he fell to the ground. And for me, when a player does that, that's unsportsmanship, and I don't like it. And I think I couldn't really rate him because he wasn't playing when he first started, and he started getting a few game time, and then he was sort of like just finding his feet. And then he goes and does that. It's like, well, you're not this almighty bloke. You can't go around doing unsportsmanship stuff like that.
I'm completely with you there. I'm completely against Cancelo doing that. And fair play to the Oxford lad for not going down as well. And I think he gave him as good as he got as well, which I don't blame him to do. If I was the Oxford lad, I would have done exactly the same thing. But no, I think we're all good. So what's your score predictions for tomorrow then?
Are we away or home?
We're at home.
We're at home. Thought we were away. I'm going for a 3-1 victory. Calvert-Lewin to get theirs.
Calvert-Lewin as well, 3-1. I'm not saying anything. I was going to say something then. I'm not saying anything. No, I'm not jinxing it. I'm going to stick with Max.
Give them a good scoreline, because it's normally the opposite what you do.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything. It's going to be a tough game.
No, it'll be... Well, I had a discussion with my stepdad. I thought Sheffield, out of the Wolves, Everton and Sheffield game, was going to be the hardest game for me. I really thought they were going to be the one that would be like, if we beat them, I think we can take something from it. If we lose something, we've got something to work from. And I'm glad we beat them, because we were lucky in some extent. You know, our was it Aguero goal where the referee blocked Sheffield, that Sheffield player off.
Yeah, the Sheffield manager wanted that back, didn't he?
Yeah, I'd agree with him. Pardon?
Yeah, we need a bit of luck. We need a bit of that. We don't have any luck.
I think we'll do it. And now we've not really got any injuries arising at the moment, any major injuries, and we're getting Laporte and Sané back to the pitch.
Yeah.
A good couple of tough results over the Christmas period and get them two back. The morale having Laporte back and a bit more energy from Sané. I don't think he's going in January. I don't think Bayern will come in and sign him in January until they've seen what he's like on the pitch. But with them two back, I don't really blame City going into the transfer market, because we haven't had them for pretty much all season. Well, Sané, we haven't had it all season.
Yeah.
So with them two coming back, it'll be like two world-class signings, you know, and it'll give a bit more confidence. So if we see through this Christmas period with Garcia and Foden filling in, I think we can...
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd like that. I think we're 14 points behind Liverpool. I think we need to... I don't think we need to bypass looking at the league now, because it'll get me too down if I start thinking that we're going to trace it back, and it's just Liverpool are looking unbeatable. Yeah. But let's go into everything. Let's go and get one game at a time, see what we can do, and just try and blood up all the youngsters. Garcias and the Fodens and the Bluers. And here's another Blue. Come on, pal. You all right? Say goodbye. Time to go now, mate. I think this is my call to say goodbye.
Yeah. See you later, buddy.
Up the Blues, mate. Have a great one. I'll speak to you later. I'm going to go and dose myself up with Lemsips. You probably hear it in my throat.
I can't. You sound all right.
Happy New Year.
All the best. You too, lads.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.